going on, everyone? Spent the morning at an absolutely perfect course, Pier Park in Portland, Oregon, doing a fun round for my online tournament. Hole one, I didn't even see the sign. I don't think I took a picture, but it's 400 something feet past this big maple tree there. I decided for once to try the backhand roller, which is not a shot I throw hardly ever, and in a miracle, it actually worked out for me. I didn't get up near the pin, but I at least gave myself a look at the basket. I did not, however, warm up my putting, so that was pretty obvious right there. But even so, just to get down there for an actual putt is an abnormality for me, and a tap in par I will always take. So hole two, 315 feet. It's down and to the right. You can't see it from the tee pad here, but you got a pretty obvious either turnover or forehand gap. I decided to try the forehand here with my DD3. I did not do a good job of it, unfortunately. Nicked the tree. Kind of dropped out of the sky, left me, I don't know, maybe 100 feet left. Pretty routine up and down, though, through my tactic. Faded in and left me, I don't know, 15 feet for yet another basically tap-in par. Back in summer layout up here now after the work party this weekend. So this was pin A, 337. You can see it down the tunnel here. This is one of my favorite holes to throw. I just love this kind of low tunnely shot. And I pulled out my Enigma and luckily got a really good pull on it, dead straight. And it faded, skipped right up here to the basket, and left me an actual tap in for a birdie. So first birdie of the round. I'm at -1 at this point. Feeling pretty good about my round already. Hole 4, this is actually in A, the short position to the right. I haven't seen it there in a long time. And I wasn't really sure what to even throw at it, so I put my FD on a little bit too much ante, caught the leaning maple and kicked me to, I don't know, 35, 37 feet here. With the hill behind the basket here, I felt pretty safe giving this, full power run, which helped with the confidence to actually give it a go without worrying about being too far behind and help me can it. So another feel-good birdie, 2 in a row. Birdies are kind of a premium at Pier for somebody of my skill level, so glad to take it. 5, back uphill. It's in the center pin position. You obviously can't see it. Basically, for me, I'm just trying to get over the crest of the hill here so I can actually have a look at the basket from wherever I am. You can see me wishing for this to push a little farther. My CD2 didn't quite make it. Left me, an okay little approach, but I shanked my tactic and got lucky and hit the tree to the right there, and it kicked me right next to the basket. I didn't have a marker, so I used a pine cone. That's official, right? 6 is in B, 392, down and to the left. You can just barely see it down almost dead center there. Went back to that CD2 I just used last hole, and I got it a little bit too high. I wanted it to get around this tree here. That's what you see me asking it to do, and it did get around the tree, but then it hooked up a little bit short, left me a circle 2 look, maybe 38, 40 feet. I gave this one a really good bid. I thought I canned it. You can see my body language there. I thought I had it, but I did not, and my second also did not. This course actually is looking amazing. Like I said, they did a work party this weekend, do signs and some gravel and stuff. It fared pretty well during the storm this last winter, unlike some other wooded courses, and it was just playing absolutely beautiful on this 70-degree day. 7, it is in the 300 plus foot pin position. You can't really see it there, but it's down in this cluster of trees. I tried to go Enigma and just blasted this tree right here. My first real bad break of the day. I can still see the basket. Tried for this little forehand approach and just whacked this tree right in the middle. So I didn't really have my chance at par. I was considering kind of flipping up my putter under this low gap here, but realized that going out to the right here with my tactic was the much better idea. So you can kind of see it at the end here, just roll up for another easy tap in. So that's a bogey, but it is what it is. Hole 8 is in the A position, I believe, 345 dead straight. You can see it behind the trees there. I decided to go with a little bit of a turnover here with my Emperor and have it flex back around the tree, and it worked great. Went right around it. It still left me, 35, 40 feet, not a tap in by any means or anything, and I did not give this one a very good run at all. Just floated it over the basket, but 15, 17 feet for another par is something I'll pretty much always take on almost any hole at Pier. I'm happy to get pars out here. I'd rather have the birdies, but if I have a birdie look and don't make it, a par feels pretty good. 9 here is actually in the 9 is in the short here. Still fairly straight. You can't really see it yet, but it's up behind this big tree in the center here that I hit. I have a little bit of a turnover approach look. I could have gone hyzer to the right there, but I did not. And this worked out pretty good. I wasn't overly thrilled with it, but anytime I'm at 15 feet, I'm okay with that. Ten is, in fact, in the short. Over to the right here. I was not overly sure what to do here and kind of was in between discs. Went with my CD2 again and just drilled it off that tree, doing a little bit of course maintenance. This tactic shot floating up to the basket I actually thought was going to go in, but my depth perception, as always, is pretty crappy, but it left me right under the pole. Easy tap in. 11. This is a fun little hole. This is in the short. I'm not used to this being in the short, and I didn't know what to do here. Yet again, I put way too much angle on my D1 here, but it hit the ground there and rolled back around the trees and left me at 20 feet. I was kind of shocked when I got up there and saw it sitting there, but I will not look a gift horse in the mouth, and I will take that birdie anytime, because that is not a hole I birdie, especially when it's in the long. 12 here, you got tennis courts to the left, the basket's off to the right. Just continuing my theme of turning this over a little too much. I gave this CD2 just a little bit too much turn, but luckily it just touched absolutely nothing as it rode through the trees. And you can see it flexing back at the end there, and it finally hit something, and it hit this tree, which would have stopped it from being right under the basket. I still felt pretty good having this, field goal look at the basket for a birdie, and instead I drilled the cider can somebody left on top of the basket and showed that that's actually my real putt there. But yet again, 15 feet for a par, it is what it is. Thirteen. You can't really see this. It's on the other side of the hill. I wasn't really sure what to do, so I went with this forehand roller that I put way too much cut on. It actually went on the line I wanted, but it didn't turn over at the top of the hill there like I wanted and go back left. You can see it skip off to the right. I had this downhill, 45-foot look that I wanted to run, but I just was smart and laid it up, and then I tried to run it with my second putter, and I missed an almost the same spot, so maybe I should have ran it from the start. 14 is a lot of trees. The basket is kind of straight and to the left there. I had a couple of guys who were right on my butt this whole day, and they were right behind me here, and so I just really quickly grabbed my FD3 and tried a roller just to take the trees out of the play, and then I just hit a tree again. If you listen here, these guys throw in on me. Whack. That was right over my head. Kind of threw me off for sure, and I was a little bit rattled and annoyed at that point because they'd thrown in on me a couple times. Sounds like a pretty good excuse for that, right? That checks out. Basket's kind of straight behind these big trees here. I threw my tactic up. This time I hit the big gap and didn't crush any more trees, and it left me another 15 foot for bogey. I bogey this hole probably more often than I par it. Birdie's out of the question for me without a miracle shot. 15, Dreamcatcher, 445, 447, all the way up the hill. You can see it way off in the distance there. I yet again decided the better option was the forehand roller, but this was atrocious. I guess I'm glad I got as much distance out of it as I did. It left me a pretty decent look for a forehand approach, but I rolled it a little bit and just cranked this tree and actually rolled backwards. So yet again, accepting a bogey here. You can see the basket up on the hill there. Threw my tactic up and actually went, quite a bit deep. I got lucky and it hit the base of the tree over there and kind of curled up. So I had maybe 23, 24 feet to save my bogey, but that wasn't much trouble. $16 is in B, 323 down and to the right. You can just barely see the top of the basket just past me right now. I got this FD way nose up and into the tree. I got kind of lucky that it just kicked right back out to the fairway. You can't really see the basket right now, but you're going to see it just kind of poking over the grass there as my approach comes in. I actually left this one a little bit short, but 15 feet short is not a big deal. Easy little downhill putt. If you miss that, you're in trouble, but that's pretty routine. 17 is in A, 358 feet. I actually grabbed my Enigma out here, and it was covered in sap from a previous hole, so wasn't real thrilled. Threw my CD2 and got a pretty good flight out of it again. I needed to get around this tree, and I really thought I was going to hit it, and then it snuck behind, and on the left there you can see it tucked into this brush pile from the storm. This is probably 38, close to 40 feet downhill. Nice strata here, and that's a little Joel excitement for you. I get pretty amped, and when I make a circle 2 putt, which doesn't happen too often, especially for birdie, I'm pretty hyped. So 18, 527 feet in the very long position. Since my Enigma was all sappy, I went with this D1, which is a flippy disc, and I actually put an absolute smash on it for my arm. Got full flight out of it down under the low ceiling there, skipped up and left me maybe 100 feet left, 120 feet. So, you know, I got well over 400 on that drive, which is a long drive for a noodle like me. Was able to just kind of half-ass approach my tactic here and then take a nice par to finish my round. So -1 round, probably definitely the best I've ever played Pier. Probably had a little bit of extra luck because of the guys behind me putting pressure on me and forcing me to really focus on making my first shot the best shot instead of throwing a bunch of practice shots. So thanks guys, and thanks to all the Discord homies for watching this.